live here, waiting on some people to show up. Are you watching me?
No, I'm not gonna change.
All right, I got some people coming in here. I'm gonna talk about getting organized for the week. Wanted to make a video just because it definitely helps me get organized. Every Sunday. I prefer to do it in the afternoon or early evening, just so my Sunday nights aren't hectic and I kind of get stressed out trying to jam everything in to Sunday night. So I like to get it done early in the day. Earlier in the day on Sunday, and just kind of map out my week. And I wanted to do this for a couple reasons. Number one, I want to help anyone out there that just trying to get a little bit more self-discipline, just provide value to anyone that kind of nerds out on goal setting the way that I do and just likes to be scheduled and disciplined. It gives me, definitely de-stresses me and something that I like to do to help others. But having this going on right now also forces me to have to do my goals and do a lot of things to help myself get more organized. So what's up, Junior? Seeing some people jumping on here, some friends. I hope everyone out there is doing well, first and foremost. And I'm going to dive into a little bit of goal setting here and talk about how I get my week organized. And my time management, how I block things off, and hopefully this is something anyone can do this. I've got some goal sheets here that I'm using, that I've always used, and I used in my book. And I'm going to go ahead and start a little bit. First thing I always like to do is a brain dump. So I'm just going to kind of write out everything that I need to try and accomplish this week. Some things won't get done, but my wife and I have a few tasks around the house. I've got a few things for work I need to do. So I've got this, like I said, I kind of nerd out on this stuff. You can see a time management sheet. And I like right beside there, I just kind of like to write out some of the things that I'm doing, that I need to do this week. So I know wife and I have got to clean out the playroom downstairs, but that's a couple months overdue. I've got some things to do for work. We've got a coaches clinic this week that we're hosting, for West Virginia State. So just getting organized with that, WSU coaches clinic. And I'm really just trying to get everything out of my mind that's kind of bouncing around in there. I know sometimes it's hard to sleep on Sunday night because I'm thinking about all the things I got to do for the week. So this kind of gets that out of my head, gets it into one spot. And I'm able to, kind of move forward from there. Got some brush I need to clear, trying to make a little fire pit since going to be here for a while. I want to get comfortable at home and take care of some projects. Brush cleanup. I've got some stuff I'm doing with organizational culture. That's what my dissertation was on. It's what I'm passionate about. And I just did a couple presentations on that. I had a Zoom clinic, was hacked in the Zoom clinic with some lewd stuff that was thrown on there. Is kind of interesting. So lesson learned, got to get a little bit more specific with the passwords and such for that. But so I got some organizational culture stuff I'm trying to do, and I'm going to throw up on my website. For each kid, I've got some things I want to do for each of my kids. So we're stuck here together, but there's certain things I can do obviously with my boys I can't do with my daughter. But me and her have started to do, we color princesses. I kind of enjoy that. It's kind of fun to sit in there coloring with her. So that's something I can do with her. With the boys, we've been playing baseball pretty much every day, but I want to incorporate some jiu-jitsu. We've had some fun with that in the basement. I don't know if you got kids out there. It was a pretty fun exercise to do. We found some virtual jiu-jitsu. I know there's some people out there that are doing that, so I want to do that with the boys. And those are the main things that I've got kind of planned this week. Got a big coaches clinic and got some projects around the house and got some things I want to do with each of my kids. And then I've got a project on organizational culture coming up with some some good material for that. I definitely am planning on writing a book on that down the road. But so I'm kind of brainstorming and just diving into West Virginia State's culture, how I can improve that. I really like, working on that stuff and improving it. So I've kind of wrote out all my little goals for the week, things that I'm trying to accomplish, outcome kind of oriented goals. And then what I'm going to do next, and if you have a piece of paper, you can do it on that. I have a time management sheet because I'm OCD like that, but I'm gonna write down my non-negotiables. So the things that I absolutely have to do, I'm gonna go ahead and block those off. And I want to encourage you to block off things that are personal too, not just Zoom meetings. I have Zoom meetings all morning, but for me, I get up early. But I'm going to fill in the non-negotiables. So at 7 a.m., me and my oldest son, we do his reading homework. So it's we start with that. And then we have a family morning routine we've been doing at 8 a.m. Every morning. We read our little family rules. We have 6 family rules. And we have a little chart that we keep track of their chores and stuff like that. We say some prayers. It's been a fun little thing that we do to start the day. It's been a really good thing for our family. So we do that at 8 o'clock. That's non-negotiable. I've got 8:30 staff meeting and Zoom all the way to 11. So that's all locked in for football. And then I've got a little break. I don't need to put anything there. And I do have some homeschooling to do. Me and Andrea, from 1 to 2, we try and do some homeschooling together with the kids. And then me and the boys have practice every day around 4 o'clock. So got practice with the boys. Basically, I just fill that in. That's kind of typically my daily routine. I've got some different things each day. I've got a meeting with meet with our quarterbacks individually. I've got different meetings I know I got a meeting with my boss on Tuesday at 10. So I'm just going to go ahead and write that in, making sure that I don't forget. Some of those important meetings throughout the week, just kind of writing those down. And this is kind of what I do. Like I said, it's just some nerdy goal setting things from yours truly. But just filling that in. And one of the things I like to fill in is some personal things. Every Friday night, my wife and I have date night. So I'm going to lock that in and write that in. We lock ourselves, well, not lock ourselves, but we make our kids make sure they don't come down the stairs. We've been nerding out on some World War II documentaries. We've watched 1917, Dunkirk. What else did we watch? Midway. So we've watched some other videos, and it's been fun. It's been important for me and her to get some alone time with 3 kids running around nonstop. So that's something that's important for me. So I'm just filling in those different times here throughout the week, and basically all my weekdays are very similar. I'm going to have I'm doing academics with my son at 7, family meeting at 8, and then I'm doing football or staff meetings on Zoom, basically from 8 to 11. At 11 o'clock, we do a physical activity with the kids. So what we like to do is take a little walk. We have a cardinal that we've become familiar with down the street. So just something we can do together. And then, making them lunch and eating lunch from about 12 to 1, hopefully getting a workout in around that time. And then it's time to jump into homeschool from 1 to 2, and then 2 o'clock, and get back to working, for stuff with West Virginia State. I got to make a note here for, got some offensive playbook stuff I've got to do this week, and come up with a quarterback test. But the biggest thing I've got going on is my coach's clinic, and that's going on breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So Wednesday morning, I'm going to be hosting a coach's clinic, just writing all those things in right now. Coach's clinic, and all right, coach's clinic. Okay, so as I'm filling in my week here, and just writing in the different times, the things that I have blocked off with my family, and then anything that I want to make sure that I'm absolutely getting done. I know Andrew and I wanted to make sure we took a trip to Danner. Just going to write that down. And a lot of times, even at night, I like to review my goals, but I'll write down things that kind of come up. This is a work in progress here for what I've got going on. But Andrew and I wanted to go to Danner Meadow and do some like track events with the kids, let them run around the track and do some long jump and broad jump. My neighbor Harold, he motivated us to do that. He was doing that with his kids. Felt like a good idea for us. Next, I'm going to write out my morning routine. If you don't have a morning routine, I highly recommend that you do have one. It's something that I've been religious with for about 3 to 5 years. And for me, it's early, and it doesn't matter when you get up or when you're trying to do this thing. But my morning routine makes every other habit that I have better. So when I'm up early and I get started, the day right, I get everything done that I want to get in the morning. It's quiet. I'm most creative in the morning, so I get a lot of my most creative work done as far as when I'm trying to build at West Virginia State with our culture, or stuff that I'm trying to do to add value to people online, or anything that I'm trying to do, reading books. So I really feel creative at that time, and I can get a lot of things that are really important done before my family wakes up. So for me, my morning routine starts at 4:45 in the morning. I get up and do yoga. I've really been enjoying doing yoga. I've been doing it about 6 days a week. It only lasts about 10 minutes. It's something I look forward to. I get a good stretch. I get the blood flowing a little bit. But it doesn't take up too much of my morning, where I still have a lot of time where I can get things done. I've been drinking apple cider vinegar. I don't know if anyone out there does that. It's been my go-to part of my morning routine. I drink about 20 ounces of water and then 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. It's kind of started to get used to it. I mix it up with water, and it's something that definitely I can definitely tell a difference, when I'm taking it. And then I dive into a morning routine. So one of the things I'm going to do moving forward online is something I've done with our players, and I thought it'd be a good idea to do. I do it myself, and so I'm going to do it live in the mornings. I don't know if anyone will be up or want to be there, but every Tuesday and Thursday I'm going to do our mental toughness morning routine that I do with our players. I think I saw Austin Hensley was on here. Austin definitely would come on, join in, man. We'll do our breathing, our little meditation thing that we do. We visualize, my goals. I visualize my day. Just kind of try to map things out, and then go into some different things that really help me stay on track. So I'm gonna do that every Tuesday, Thursday morning at 5:30 in the morning. Anyone interested in doing that? It's a great way to start your day. It definitely helps. Like, I know with everything that's going on with the quarantine, just staying self-discipline is a lot harder when it's only up to me. I've got to really organize everything that I do. So that's what I'm trying to do, and it helps me helping other people. So I'm going to do that at like I said, at 5:30 in the morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays, live here on Facebook or wherever, maybe different platforms. But anyways, that's some of the stuff that I'm doing in the morning. So I do that at 5:30. And then that typically takes about 10 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how long. But then I like to read something that's not work related. So I really like to do things I love, just to read. And I don't read a lot of fiction. I love reading, nonfiction. It's right now I'm reading a book on coaching habits. I love reading on leadership, organizational culture, things like that. Things that kind of help me get better, but I can really, zone in on and get me motivated. Personal growth books. So I read for about an hour, and usually during that time, I'm taking notes. A lot of ideas kind of come up. I use Evernote. I don't know if anyone uses that on my computer. I do have a notebook. Sometimes I'll write in that, but most of the time I'm putting notes in Evernote. Ideas I have for my staff meeting coming up, or different ideas I have for the week, or things that I want to get done. So I usually read for about an hour, from 5:50 to 6:50, and then I'm getting in the shower, getting ready for the day, getting Nolan up and getting him dressed, and getting him started with his reading homework. Which I want to say, the teachers just do an incredible job, and I can't speak for anywhere else in the country, but I know here in Charleston, they've been putting a lot of time and effort into helping our kids. They make it really easy, I think, for us. It is obviously difficult to get used to it, but it's pretty easy. It tells us day by day what we have to do. Andrew is way better at it than I am, but I can follow it and help Nolan get his stuff done, especially with her help. So I've got my week pretty much mapped out here. I also have a night routine. I like to bookend my days, so I write in my night routine. We start bedtime around 8 o'clock. When I get up at 4:45 in the morning, I'm exhausted by basically when I'm done with dinner around 7:30. I'm pretty much done. So around 8 o'clock, it's bath time or getting the kids ready for bed. We like to read to our kids. It's a zoo. I don't know what happens. They could be half asleep, and as soon as we go upstairs for bedtime, they're fighting us to put their clothes on. They're running around, naked half the time, or fighting or throwing books at each other. It's kind of crazy time for us. So it takes us a little while to calm them down and get them read to. And usually, Andrea's reading to Nolan, and I'm reading to the two littles, and just kind of trying to get them ready for bed. It helps to have a little routine. It usually takes about 30 minutes to get them wrangled in and get them down and say a prayer and go to bed, get them to brush their teeth. So after that, a couple things that I like to do is, first and foremost, I want to read, my goals. Some of the things that, like my bigger goals, winning a conference championship at state, trying to work out 6 days a week, all the things that I'm trying to accomplish, on a weekly basis. I just read through those things. I read through, I have a personal mission statement. That's one of the things I read in the mornings is my personal mission statement, the kind of man I want to be every day. And so I read that at night, just go over just to remind myself, okay, this is what I'm trying to achieve. This is what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I also write down some things, why I want to do the things that I want to do to make my family proud, to, because I love to work hard or want to help others, things like that. And I write in a gratitude journal, and it's one of the best things that I've ever done. I don't know if anyone out there does that. Everyone had told me, journaling was such a powerful thing, a positive, thing to do. And so I started doing it with a gratitude journal. I write down 5 things I'm grateful for. From most of it's from that day. I always like to say something I'm grateful for in the future. And then something very basic I'm grateful for, just running water or electricity or something like that I may, tend to overlook, on a daily basis. So I write those down. Next, I write out, kind of how my day went, the good, try to point out the good things that went on during my day, or, it definitely helps even if I have had something difficult to write it down. And then, then I go through what I'm going to do in the morning. Get up at 4:45, do my yoga, and just that way it makes it like something I have to do with myself. When I lay out my clothes and write out, okay, you're going to get up at 4:45 and you're going to do yoga and you're going to get your day started right. It's, it gets me, it helps hold me accountable to myself. So that's what I do. It also helps me look for the things that I'm grateful for in life. I think we all have a tendency to get negative. And when you're constantly writing those things down at night, you're looking for them every day. So every day, I'm kind of thinking about, that was something that was, pretty cool. Andrew and I went for a walk, Canal State Forest, or hike with the kids. I mean, it was awesome. Love being out there at Canal State Forest and just outside of the house. I mean, it's something, that I love living in West Virginia. The fact that we can get out there and, Canal State Forest is 10 minutes away. It's a beautiful place, and we can get out and still be active, and still do things together as a family. So that was something that was great. I'm going to write about that obviously this morning. Next thing I want to talk to you about real quick before we end is this thing right here. If you played for me, you've definitely seen this chart before. It's a habit list. It's a couple things, and if you want to follow along real quick, you can write these down. You don't need a goal sheet like I have, super organized. First of all, I write out my big goals of the month. For me, I'm really trying to get our playbook locked down, type up the details. Usually we're kind of getting that done last minute in August. So I've got a little bit more time here to work on that. Trying to keep my family, stay disciplined, lead my family, and to be grateful for the opportunity we have to spend together. And then, trying to build an online audience. I want to share positive things that we're doing to help people online. I mean, we're stuck in our houses. I love to coach. I love to have a positive impact on people. It's what I'm good at. It's what I love to do. So I can't coach my team right now. So trying to put things out there to help and coach anyone out there that's looking to be more positive. So one of my big goals is building our online audience. And then I write out some big goals for the week. So I'm reading that off right now, how I did on that. And this is important. It's important to have feedback. That way I can't lie to myself. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, I'm doing really good or I'm doing really bad. It's like, okay, look at the empirical data here. I said I wanted to do this, and I'm not doing it. Then I need to pick it up and do better this week. Or maybe I need to scale back some of those goals. I'm always, you can ask my wife, a little too ambitious, I think, when it comes to goal setting. And sometimes I got to scale those things back, but it helps me stay grounded. So I write down those things for the week. My main goal is just to, anytime there's something crazy going on in my life, something difficult, like this quarantine and this pandemic, I try to pull back the telescope and bring out the microscope and kind of lock into more of a day-to-day kind of mindset, because you don't really know what's going to happen from one day to the next. Things are changing rapidly. So the only thing I can really control is what I'm doing each day and basically each week. So I try to pull back and really be organized from day to day. Big goal for me is communicating with my team and my players, trying to text and call as many of those guys as I can and put out consistent content for them. And for anyone, consistent positive content. Also write down some quotes that are motivating me. I get a little Stuart Smiley with myself, and I like to have affirmations that I say. It's really dorky and nerdy, but it helps. It helps me. I have little phrases that I'll say to myself. My family deserves the best is one that I always say when I don't feel like doing something. I just have these sayings that I write down. Some of my whys. I have a great life. I'm strong. I'm healthy. I'm a leader. I love to help people. I just kind of write down that and different quotes, that pop up that are really motivating me. So I write those down, and then I start writing down the habits. So, my goal, obviously, for this week, I have a big goal of a coach's clinic. I want it very professionally run. I want to make sure that, we do it really well. We don't have any hackers with this Zoom thing like I did at the last clinic I did. So I want to make sure it's safe. I want to make sure that everyone that's involved is learning and getting better at coaching football, that we're all providing value and putting West Virginia State in a great light. So, but in order to do that, I need some daily habits. I need to reach out and make sure I'm contacting as many high school coaches as possible, college coaches. So those are some of the habits I'm going to do. But I'm going to grade last week just like a teacher would. So last week, like, for example, my morning routine, I wanted to get it done 5 days a week. I only got it done 4. Kind of disappointed in myself on that one, so I'm gonna have to pick it up, for the morning routine. I did get my night routine done 5 times. That was a goal for me, and I'm just kind of going through, and grading. Lifting. I wanted to lift 4 times a week. I wanted to run. I've got some different things. I wanted to text 2 players a night. And I'm just grading. How did I do with these daily habits? And then at the end, I give myself a grade. So, some goals I hit, some I didn't. I used to tell our players that you want to be in that 80% range. If you're achieving every goal that you write down, you're probably not trying hard enough, or you're not stretching yourself hard, far enough. And if you're not achieving them, then you need to pick it up or scale it back a little bit. So that's some of the things I'm just writing down. I'm grading myself. Full disclosure was, not on fire last week. I did stay in contact. I did a couple good things. I was very involved with building our culture at West Virginia State, because I had a clinic presentation on that. So I basically every day I was working on that. And so I was way above my goals for that. But just looking at this here, for myself, I am, about 80%, maybe a little bit less. So I definitely got to pick it up. It has been difficult, but I do like a challenge, and this is making me more self-disciplined. So working on that and grading myself, and then I'm just going to go through and fill in what I'm trying to do this week. So for me, it's a morning routine. I want to get that done 5 days for sure this week. Make sure that I'm getting up Monday through Friday, early in the morning. Want to get my night routine in. Same thing, Monday through Thursday, and then I like to do my night routine a little early today on Sunday. But I'm just writing those things in right now. I want to lift, and when I say lift, I don't have a weight room to lift in, but do some kind of strength training, not just going for a jog. So I definitely want to lift 4 days a week. I want to run 2 days a week, and I want to do a competition with myself. I've challenged our players on our team to do this. I highly recommend it. Every Thursday I do a 2-mile run. I try and beat my time every week. It gets, it's getting harder and harder. Obviously my times are going down. I dread it. but it's also something that I look forward to. I look forward to dreading it. I look forward to being nervous, and I know that I got to pick it up and I got to be ready for that every Thursday. So doing that self-competition helps myself. So I like to do that. Big thing for me, like I said, is this coaches clinic. So I definitely want to reach out to West Virginia high school coaches every day this week, telling them about our clinic and, sharing that information. I've got, goals to put some stuff out there, put positive things out online, just sharing things with anyone that's looking for positive leadership. So I'd like to do that 5 times this week. I'd like to I got to work on our playbook. So that's something, and what these goals do, these daily habits, it just helps me with I wrote that book, Small Wins Equal Big Gains. Well, if I want to have a finished playbook, by June, then I need to work on it, for 10 minutes a day, 4 days a week, or 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week, something like that. And that's really what I'm trying to find, is that balance, so that, that little small win of 20 minutes today, 4 times a week will end up being, a finished product, by the time June 1st gets around. Definitely working on a class off of my book. I've been slacking on that one big time. I haven't done a whole lot with that. I've maybe spent maybe three times I've worked on it. So I like to do that maybe just twice this week when I do get a free moment, just chip away at stuff from my book and trying to make a class online for that. For goal setting. And then I've been working on a coach's planner, really just chipping away at that, making a planner for football coaches, things that we do specifically. That's more on the back burner, not a high priority for me. So I wrote out those things. I hope anyone out there, is following along, and can use this to help you move forward. It's a great thing for me to do on Sundays. I love sitting here on a Sunday and getting everything organized. I've got everything written down, now for the week. I feel a lot more clarity on what I'm trying to achieve this week. I've obviously put this out there live, so it's going to help me be accountable. I know that everyone that's watching now is going to know whether I'm being self-disciplined or not. I love that. That's a great way to help hold yourself accountable, is to have accountability partners. And so that's something that I'm going to make sure that I try and do. Like I said, every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to have a breakfast club at 5:30 in the morning, some mental toughness training. I see Jeff Gardner on here. My man Jeff, pop in the morning. I know you're probably not getting much sleep with a newborn. Pop in and do some mental toughness exercises with me. It'll be fun. It's a great way to start the day. It really helps, it really helps me stay on track, with knowing what kind of man I want to be. How I want to be leading my family, how I want to be a positive leader in my community and online, and just how I want to have a positive influence on people. So it just keeps it fresh in my mind. And appreciate everyone that was here, watching. Hopefully you wrote down some goals. If you have any questions, for me, shoot them to me. I'd love to help you answer them. I've got goal sheets on my website that are free. I've got more, quick ways to start a morning routine. I mean, all this stuff is, I'm just trying to put stuff out there to provide value. So it is a shameless plug, but it's out there for you I want to help people. I miss coaching my team like crazy, but I know that I can coach people from a computer now, apparently. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I do have that stuff on my website. It's coachjohnpennington.com. You can find a lot of free material on there, and especially for goal setting, stuff that you want to use to help you. So appreciate everybody watching. Have a good week with your goals. Stay on track. Reach out to me if you have any questions, and I'll see anyone that wants to join me 5:30 in the morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays for a little mental toughness. All right, everyone. Talk to you soon.